So we have some major news in the effort to remove suppressors and SBRs from the NFA nationwide. Unfortunately, HR 1 has just passed in the House, so the big beautiful bill has passed. In the version of the Short Act and the HPA that we got included in the big beautiful bill is only the reduction of the tax. The registry will remain. However, there have already been statements by multiple 2A organizations. GOA is going to be filing their own lawsuit against the NFA registry, and then FBC, SAF, the NRA, and I believe ASA are joining together to also launch their own lawsuit. So let's break down what is happening and where we go from here. Now, real quick, if you're watching this channel, then obviously it's safe to say that you care about the Second Amendment and your rights. Now, here's the thing, even law-abiding gun owners are ending up in jail because they make a bunch of critical mistakes. And those are mistakes that you don't even realize that you're making or that you don't understand that they're illegal. So I put together a free resource called the Legal Survival Guide. It's aimed to help you guys avoid all of those traps that maybe you could fall in. It takes about 2 minutes to read. It's just a simple PDF, and it really could save you years behind bars. I made it to help you guys, again, completely free to download using the link down below. It's just something that I wanted to provide to you guys for free so that you can have it in your phone or maybe print it out. And there's a little card also in there that you can put in your wallet to give you additional resources to help you in situations. Obviously, not meant to be legal advice. I'm not your attorney. This isn't an attorney-client relationship, but I wanted to provide you guys some free resources to prevent you falling in some bad situations. Again, if you're interested, click the links down below. It's completely free to do. All you have to do is enter your email to get that free PDF. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, we have some big developments that happened today. Like I mentioned, the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act have now passed in the House. So HR 1, the big beautiful bill, has passed. And the version of the HPA and the Short Act that we got included in that bill is only the reduction of the tax. So it's going to take the NFA's $200 tax requirement from $200 to $0. Now, we all knew, coming out of the Senate parliamentarian, the whole effort in the Senate, there was issues with removing the registry. The Senate parliamentarian did not believe that you could do that. I believe she said that that was a policy consideration. And so the amended version went to her and she was in favor of only the reduction of the tax. And so that's what passed in the Senate and it went back to the House. In the House, over the last couple of days, there were a ton of efforts to remove, just that version. What they wanted was the full Short Act and the full Hearing Protection Act, which would remove, the registry, the tax, and all those requirements. There was an amendment of the bill that was presented by Representative Clyde. However, that was essentially shot down. It was not included into the big beautiful bill. Instead, they moved forward only with the reduction of the tax. There was also, I believe, some discussion about presenting only the House version that originally passed as far as the big beautiful bill, and that had the full version of the HPA. However, also that did not move forward. Instead, the version that was included in the big beautiful bill was the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act, only as far as the reduction of the tax. So no registry component was included in that. So the registry and all of that will remain in place. This will now move forward to the president, and obviously Donald Trump is going to sign this into law. This is something he's wanted all along. I get it that this is not what we want. This is definitely not the version of the Short Act and the HPA that I wanted. And take this from someone who's in California, where this doesn't even directly impact me because we have our own state restrictions on suppressors and SBRs. But for the 2A cause at large, I wanted, and I think we all wanted, the full version of the Short Act and the HPA. But unfortunately, the rhinos in Congress sold us out, and we only got the compromised version, the half-measure version of the Short Act and the HPA. So now, essentially, after Trump signs this into law, the shift of the strategy is going to be filing lawsuits against this, trying to remove the registry and the entire component of the NFA as it applies to SBRs and as it applies to suppressors. And the interesting thing with this also is because now with the reduction of the tax, you're going to directly file a lawsuit against this new language and the new version of the NFA. Already, we've had statements from GOA saying that they are going to be launching a lawsuit against this. We don't have the full versions of any of those lawsuits as of right now. Of me filming this video, we just have statements from multiple organizations saying that they are going to be launching these lawsuits. So GOA is saying that they're going to be filing their own version of a lawsuit. And then we also got a statement from FBC that they are going to be launching a lawsuit as well in conjunction with the Second Amendment Foundation and Adam Kraut and all those guys over at SAF. And then the NRA is also going to be joining in on that FBC, SAF, and ASA lawsuit that they are going to be launching against this new language of the NFA and all these new requirements where essentially there's no tax but still a registry. Now, the unfortunate thing with this is when it comes to lawsuits, even if you file it in a very good jurisdiction, like you say you file it in a jurisdiction like a Northern District of Texas, which is a federal court, and you're within the jurisdiction of the Fifth Circuit, ultimately this is going to take a while to move its way through the process. And even if, let's say, the district court agrees with some of the arguments saying that, yes, the NFA is unconstitutional as it currently is applying, where you have a registry but no tax, if they say, yes, that structure is unconstitutional and maybe that the NFA as it sits right now doesn't make sense and it's illegal, even if that happens, I don't see a district court, even if you had a judge like Judge Reed O'Connor out of Texas, even if he issues a positive ruling, it's not like he's going to issue a nationwide injunction, because right now we recently got Supreme Court precedent that was just issued in a new case where nationwide preliminary injunctions and nationwide injunctions are no longer permissible. So maybe you could get some sort of limited application just for some of these organization memberships, but I don't see that actually is going to operate like that. I assume probably if that gets elevated to someone like the Fifth Circuit, they're going to stay any ruling of a lower court because they're not going to want to disrupt the NFA process and the NFA registry while a lawsuit is moving forward. So in my view, ultimately what this is going to take is for it to get to the Supreme Court at some point within, maybe 2 to 3 years. And then you're going to need the Supreme Court to ultimately want to review this issue. And as we sit right now with the Supreme Court, they've kicked a lot of two-way cases. They have not wanted to deal with any hardware cases, any rifle bans, any magazine bans. Right now, there's currently a lawsuit of the NRA that's sitting in front of the Supreme Court dealing with SBRs, but the question is if they're going to take that. But even with that lawsuit, it's probably going to have to be modified now with the new language of the NFA because of the Big Beautiful Bill and HR 1 and the Short Act and the HPA that have now passed. So a lot of moving parts, but as of right now, I wanted to give you guys this news that the Short Act and the HPA have passed. They're included in the HR 1. They're going to go to Trump to be signed. The version that we got is only the reduction of the tax, so the registry will remain in place. And now you have statements from multiple two-way organizations saying that they're going to launch lawsuits against this new version of the NFA. So that's where we currently stand. Unfortunately, we did not get what we wanted. I wanted the full version of the Short Act. I wanted the full version of the HPA, but unfortunately, rhinos in Congress were not willing to give that to us. We were, treated as second-class citizens once again. They did not treat the Second Amendment as a prominent issue when it came to this. So that is the version that's going to move forward. That's the version that's now going to be signed into law, and that is the version of the law that is now needing to be challenged by all these multiple two-way organizations. So that's where we stand. As things develop, if we get any more information, I will let you guys know. Again, if you want to support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to simply subscribe to the channel, of course, and then also you can head over to my website, armscholar.com. We have a lot of free information for you guys over there. We have the free legal guide that you can sign up for. All you have to do is put it in your email. And then also we have merch over there, so you can get Arm Scholar shirts there. And then also we have some deals. So if you guys are looking to get some quality products and save some money, we also have some deals over there as well. So again, head over to armscholar.com. That supports the channel. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, this nation was built by Arm Scholars, and this nation will be maintained by Arm Scholars.